Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Pamela, and I have been on a weight loss journey for the last 14 or so months using lifestyle modification and a little help from some compounded Tirzepatide. If you're not new here, you know that I've been MIA for the last couple of weeks, and for the month of December, was doing 31 days of Q&As. I got all the way to question number 30, and then I just disappeared. Well, if you're not familiar with the community tab, I did post this information in my community on the 30th, the day that I posted my last video. My mother passed away, and I had to take a step back and just spend time with my family and take the time to grieve and make the final arrangements. We did lay my mother to rest this past Friday. It was a very beautiful service. So many people came out to honor her memory and pay their respects, and it was a beautiful send-off for my mom. And I'm not much of a jewelry person, but I have this necklace. I love you in sign language. If you don't know, my mom is deaf, and this was her necklace. And so just so if you see me wearing this, then you know that it is just a way of honoring my mom and keeping her close to me. But I'm going to try to move on so that I can get through this video. But I do want to give an update on my weight loss journey, because with the passing of my mother and dealing with the grief of that and not wanting to meal prep, not wanting to fix any food, I think things just kind of went downhill from there. I was eating a lot of takeout. So I think I had McDonald's once or twice within the last couple of weeks. I've had pizza. I've had Chinese food. You know, I have friends that live away and they wanted to help. So they would send food, and it's very appreciated, because during this time I was finding it very difficult to even get the energy to get up and fix a meal. So it was something to keep me nourished throughout this time. Maybe not the healthiest choices, but as far as me staying on track and making healthier choices, I think that's something that I need to address within myself, is the emotional eating aspect of this, because even when I get to a healthy body weight, I need to be able to make better choices when times get hard, because we're going to go through things. There's always going to be rough patches in our lives, or things that happen that we have to deal with. And I need to find a way to not let food be the emotional comfort. So that's something that I'm going to be working on, but it's a real struggle, and it's a struggle for many of us. So I wanted to share that. And what I found myself doing over the last couple of weeks was ordering out a lot more, just because it was very difficult to even find the strength to get up and get in the kitchen and fix something. So I have come up with a plan for that, and I will be sharing a video on that in the next week or so. And I do need to take my injection. Normally, I take my injection on Sunday. As you can imagine, this weekend has just been kind of a whirlwind. I did miss my injection yesterday. I didn't intentionally skip it, or I guess maybe I kind of did. I did realize late last night that it was my injection day and that I needed to take it, but I was already in bed. I was tired, and I just really didn't feel like getting up and doing it. So I intentionally decided that I would do it this morning. So I will be giving my injection today. I'm going to give that in just a moment, but I wanted to do a recap of my weight loss. At my lowest weight since I've been on Tirzepatide, I was 145.1 pounds. That was November 23rd. That was right at my 1 year anniversary mark. and put me just over the 50-pound goal that I had set for myself to lose within the 1 year. So, how have I been doing since then? Not so great, which I'm okay with because I know what's been going on and I know why the scale has moved in the wrong direction. And I do have a plan in place to get it moving back in the right direction. So, just to recap, from there on November 23rd, I was 145.1 pounds. On November 30th, I was 148.1 pounds, which of course, that was Thanksgiving week, so I expected it to go up. On December 7th, I was 150.4 pounds, still indulging from Thanksgiving. I'm okay with that. On December 14th, it was 149.4 pounds, so starting to move back in the right direction. December 21st, 149.1 pounds. December 28th, of course, we just had Christmas, so it kind of crept back up a little bit, 151.6. Then, of course, with the news of my mother's passing, this is where it kind of took a turn and started creeping up a little bit more. So on January 4th, I was 151.6 pounds. January 11th, 152.8 pounds. And yesterday, January 18th, 154.1 pounds. Now, as of today, which is the 19th, I weighed in at 153.8 pounds. So just down a little bit. I have for this week a gain of 1.3 pounds. Last week it was a gain of 1.2 pounds. The week before that it was a loss of 0.6 pounds. The week before that it was a gain of 3.1 pounds. So the scale has kind of been going up and down, more on an upward trend, and it's okay. Things like this happen. The key is identifying what the triggers are and finding a solution to get things back on track. And so that's what I'm working on this week. So my official weigh-in for this week is 154.1 pounds. I'm about to go in here and give myself my injection for the week, and then I will be back here next week to share my next weekly update, hopefully with a better reading on the scale, because I will be implementing some of the tips that I've come up with to help manage emotional eating, especially during a grieving process. And I'll share more about that in next week's video. So I hope you'll be back here to join me with that. Until then, remember, none of us are perfect. You can only be perfectly you.
You've got the wisdom, you've got the knowledge to see, the power to choose the version you're meant to be. Don't ever settle for less than the joy you deserve. Trust the process, let your focus be preserved. Finding health, finding peace, that's what we're gonna do. It all starts with you.